What's up YouTube? Welcome to my first deck highlight. This is Spectrum Zoo. Last night I was playing around trying to find something where Sandman would fit nicely. And this deck, it has a few nice little synergies in it that seems to make Sandman work for me. The first thing is Goose and Sandman. Goose says you can't play cards that cost 4, 5, or 6 in this location. And Sandman says you can only play one thing, which means that you probably want to play a big thing. So if you have Goose down, that's a location that your opponent is probably not going to be playing into on turns 4, 5, and 6. 5 and 6 after you've played Sandman. But you can also Mystique to copy Goose. Mystique is the secret key card in this deck where your opponent assumes that once this card like Goose or Cosmo have come down, that lane is written off and they're going to now focus somewhere else. Once you've got Cosmo down somewhere, you can then copy with Mystique. Once you've got Goose down somewhere, you can copy with Mystique. Once you've got Armor down somewhere and your opponent's like, well, I'll put all my stuff to get destroyed somewhere else, then you copy it with Mystique. And the whole idea is to set up these ongoing effects that penalize your opponent for playing a particular deck and set them up in 2 lanes, then play Sandman, and then because you have a bunch of low costing ongoing effects and Sunspot, you're able to play through the final turns of the game without really being penalized by Sandman's ability too much. The main thing that you have to worry about is that both Cosmo and Goose mean you can't play Spectrum, but Cosmo means you can play Blue Marvel, and it's not a big deal. You'll find that this deck is something akin to Hate Bears, an archetype in Magic the Gathering, where you're playing a bunch of cheap costed creatures that have effects that slow your opponent down, and this is kind of the same thing, where you have some key hate cards, but then also a bunch of cards that allow you to get extra power into play, like Ant-Man and Mojo, so that you can play them out early and gain priority so that you can play Cosmo onto the lane that you think your opponent's going to play into, so that Cosmo reveals before their on-reveal effects would happen. Same goes with Armor, same goes with Goose playing it on tempo, and then playing Sandman on 4. You can also play Sandman on 5 if you think your opponent is about to play Serral, or you think your opponent is playing a Silver Surfer deck. And then on 6, you're pretty much playing Spectrum so that all your dudes get +2. With the hope of that being enough to win the game. If you don't have your Blue Marvel or Spectrum in hand and you have Sandman, Sunspot is kind of your backup, where if you're playing anything that costs less than on curve, then Sunspot's going to get extra energy anyway, which isn't a huge loss. And that's pretty much the core of the deck. Here's a couple of little highlights to give you an idea of how it plays, and then I hope this is something that you might want to try out. Vibrating moves actually good for me. I think it's my Spectrum. I have Rogue, but Rogue is a bit more niche. I don't think Rogue's going to show up in this deck. Ooh, I pick up Priority, but I don't have Armor. Having Armor here would have been great. Maybe like this. It gives me another opportunity to draw Armor. There it is. He might kill Killmonger, which kills Sunspot, but that's not really a big deal. And then forfeit. Amazing. This is fine. It's fine, doesn't do anything. This is the best part. Got him! freebie.